Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and we are back with another recap review for 61st Street. So, before I get started, I just want to go over a few things. You can fast forward. Within a minute, I should be done. So, if you don't want to hear what I'm saying, just fast forward to the minute mark. Um, I am wearing these glasses, which I've never donned before. They were one of the four pairs of glasses that I purchased for my birthday, or I think it was the package before. Y'all don't understand. I have at least like 30 pairs of glasses, at least. I was gonna wear these or these, and initially I had these on. I'll put them on for you real quick so you can see what they look like. That's what it was gonna be today, but I was like, let me calm it down and put these on. Also, I just wanted to tell y'all, you might see a little bit of ballet today. So if you do, don't mind me. But anyway, not trying to flash y'all, not trying to gross y'all out. Let's get into it. All right, here we go. So this episode started out with Moses in jail with his daddy, and it's like, time for everybody to just be out and about doing what they're doing inside of the prison. And so his daddy done rolled up on him and it's basically like, yeah, there are some things you're gonna have to do to prove to the faction that you are worthy of protection, and you got to do certain things in here if you want to be protected. But first of all, you need to get these dreams out of your head, because that's what people sell you. They basically tell you if you dream it, it'll happen, and all these things gonna happen for you if you dream it. And that's the biggest lie that they ever sold y'all. So he like, look, you don't have to do what you need to do, because being in here ain't gonna be for free. You're gonna have to work for it. Not just because you my son. You ain't just gonna get your way just because you my son. You're gonna have to put in some work. So I'm like, child. Anyway, there's a package that's gonna be coming, and you already know that's code for drugs. And he is gonna have to be the one who's gonna have to get it, and that is going to be his way in order to show his daddy that, and basically the other people who are part of the faction, that he is, capable and worthy of the protection. So he goes out on the yard because it's time for people to be able to be outside. And before he go out there, was it before or after? Wait a minute, let me make sure. No, after he went outside, and the guy who I told y'all about, like in the first episode, who was being represented by Franklin, who was his lawyer. Y'all know Courtney B. Vance. Y'all know Miss Mama's husband, Angela Bassett, Harley Lou in the name. I love them. Okay, y'all, let me calm down. So he was like, hey, you being represented by the same lawyer I got. And so he was like, man, if you being represented by him, you might as well go ahead and cozy up and get comfortable in here, because I'm serving 30 months for formula, for stolen formula. So yeah, and so he kind of looking at him like, what? Dang, that's crazy. So anyway, then he goes and he has a visit from his mama. His mama is looking at him, and a mother knows, like a real mama know what you're going through, no matter what you're trying to hide. I'm not good at hiding how I feel. I'm just not. I pretty much wear my heart on my sleeve. And I mean, I'm a thug, but at the same time, it's like, man, I mean, thugs cry. You know what I'm saying? We have emotions and things too. Let me stop. But anyway, so his mom was like, you look different. And I mean, I don't feel like she was saying that because he's been on the inside, because it's been such a short amount of time. So I don't feel like she's saying it like that. I think she's just saying it like, it might be mentally, but he's showing it on his face. And so she's trying to get him to repeat that he is okay and that it's going to be okay or whatever. So he's talking to his mama. And she's trying to reassure him that, everything is going to be okay. And you know what I'm saying? I love when people do that, even if it's a dire situation where it's like, how? Like, I don't really see a way out of this, but that's his mama, and his mama is giving him that reassurance. Y'all, so that man, I don't forgot what his name is in this moment, but the man who rolled up on his mama at the kickback, whatever you want to call it, where the people gathered around his mama and wanted to try to raise money and all this other stuff to help with his legal fees so that Franklin can continue to do what he's doing on Moses's behalf. He done rolled up to the house. And so he was like, I hope this do the trick. So he got like groceries and wine, and he basically is going to cook dinner for her, or she going to cook it. They going to spend time together. Y'all, I lived for this part of the show, because guess what happened? They got to talking. And so he wants to know like what all she got going on with her, because she really won't let him in to discuss what's going on with Moses. And so, she enjoyed herself. You could tell that the food was good or whatever, even though, they didn't show the cooking and all that stuff. So the way she rolled up on him at first, I was like, wait a minute, ma'am, I know you probably had done in a while, but the way she looked at him, I was like, I thought she was going to grab his hand. I thought she was going to grab his hand and go to the back. I was like, wait a minute, y'all went off. Not the first date. But anyway, she looked at him and then she walked off and then she told him to pick a song, pick a record. So some music is playing in the background and he was basically like, I have something that I must confess. I got something I got to tell you, you know what I'm saying? And so she kind of laughed and he was like, I'm serious. And so she was like, okay. So it's like she was preparing herself. This man gonna say he has terrible taste in music, but then proceeded to say that he feels as though he is stuck in the year of 1975, I think he said, because he lives for stylistics, the stylistics. And I'm like, what is the problem here, sir? Like, I really rose up. Like, I don't understand the problem. I don't understand the problem. What is wrong with the stylistics? Because I live. Do y'all know how the stylistics, do y'all know the music? Do y'all know the catalog? Wait a minute. Let me help y'all understand. One of their greatest hits. Hold on. Let me pull it up for you. Pardon me. Excuse me. There's a spark of magic in your eyes. Candyland appears each time you smile. Never thought that fairy tales come true, but they come true when I'm near you. Listen, you're a genie in disguise, full of wonder and surprise, and betcha by golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever. And never will my love for you keep growing strong. Keep growing strong. Listen, y'all don't understand. I don't understand. I was like, what is the problem? What is the problem? Listen. Because I was like, not the stylistics, sir. You done went, what is the problem? Don't be trying to act like the stylistics is a problem, sir. Don't do it. Because I was very upset. Because I was like, what he finna say? He probably finna say some trash. Like, what happened? That's a good one. Hold on. That's a sad song. I'm just going to say the name of that one when I get to it. Look, one of the other ones that's good that I live for, I don't know how many. I mean, a lot of people have sampled this. So y'all probably know the song. But here it go, right here. It's entitled, You Are Everything. Well, it's called You Are Everything. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. There's nothing new under the sun. So the fact that people love to say, me too, you are everything. This has been out here. Okay, so here we go. Today I saw somebody who looked just like you. She walked like you do. I thought it was you. As she turned the corner, I called out your name. I felt so ashamed when it wasn't you. Was it you? You are everything. And everything is you. Oh, everything. Listen, y'all know what it is. Don't be. Okay, let me calm down because I was like, sir, I had to go reach back in the stack because he tried it on that part. Y'all, my bad. I'm sorry. When it comes to certain musical aspects, I be having to take a pause for the calls. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, after he tried it, talking about the stylistics, like that's an issue. Child, please. I'm sorry. I'm still a little bit upset about that. But let me digress. The power went out. And so she was like, dang it, I don't know what's going on. I don't remember if she said she paid it or she thought she paid it, but the power done went off. So he was like, it's okay. Do you have any candles? So they are literally in the middle of lighting candles when the son comes in, the other son. And so he literally was walking home and he heard sirens. So he already is not in a good headspace. He needs counseling. He needs therapy. He needs everything at this point. He need to not be out in these streets, but you know, he out here in this thug life. Like he really out here doing the most to get money in order to get his brother out of jail and to help to keep some bills paid around the house because his mama has been picking up extra shifts. She been doing the most. So anyway, he done came, like he's having a moment when the sirens happen. And I'm like, Lord, please don't let these people pull him. So they didn't pull him. He make it to the house. So he come in the house and the electricity is off. So the first thing he sees is the black man. The man who done rolled up on his mama. And he looking like, no, I already told y'all everything I knew. And he starts backing up, then back into his room or into a room. And like, he is like traumatized. He's over here thinking that it's the folks. It's 12 out here or something. The way he act, you would think 12 is really right there in the house. And that he has been suspicious of this man and maybe he undercover or something. What's really going on? Now, I'm hoping that ain't the situation. But if it is, it's probably going to turn into I can't, tell nobody what's going on around here. I'm just going to report back to my superiors and tell them there was nothing here. She was being truthful the entire time because I done fell for her. Because that man seemed like he really is here for her. I hope he ain't trying her when she's the most vulnerable. But anyway, the mama had to roll up on him and hug him and tell him he was all right. He was okay. And all of this because the man was kind of confused because, like I said, she doesn't talk about Moses' case. Don't say nothing about what's going on. Like, it's just a lot. So she's dealing with a lot and she's internalizing it and all she's doing is working and worrying about her son. And it's just a lot. So then we end up seeing the next morning roll around and she done rolled up on Martha, who is Franklin's wife. Done rolled up to the house. She's standing outside the gate. So then she invites her into the house. They about to have something, or at least she's trying to offer coffee, tea, or something. And so she was like, look, I got to tell you something. She ended up telling her that Rufus, who was Tutu, or whatever his name was, they got killed by that police officer, Brannigan, told her that he was an informant. He was a snitch. And so she was like, I noticed that you said his name in your campaign, and I just don't want you to sit up here and you end up having mud on your name because it's attached to him. And essentially, she was like, I mean, dang, that's messed up. I get it. But at the same time, the family, somebody got to, sit in it. And I'm just like, dang, that's messed up. So, she was like, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. And, it just is what it is. So we end up seeing Logan, who is we ain't there yet. So we see Franklin with a group of people, including that white woman. I don't know why I can't never think of her name, but she's on the side of right. They have a crew. I don't know if they're crime scene detectives or whatever. Like, I feel like they deal with crime scenes and trying to restage stuff. That's what was going on in this moment. They had a whole actor to get up there on the top of them crates and trailers or whatever they call them in order to reenact what was going on, because the guy who saw the whole ordeal go down when Moses was basically fleeing and then that police officer fell to his own death, killed his own self, to be honest. What I'm saying? Had an actor up there with the shirt on and everything, and they had somebody to shoot. And with the tool that they had, I don't even know what this tool is called, y'all. I have seen this my entire life, and I've never known what it was called. But anyway, you're able to predict the trajectory and all this other stuff of the bullet, how far it was going. It was to the point where all the technology that they had, it could tell you, because of the day that you said it happened on, they already know that the train was 45 seconds late and the wind was this type of way and all this, which could affect the direction that the bullet would go. And they said it would go a certain length of time, into the, amount of distance away. Y'all excuse me. But yeah, I was just like, y'all done went off. I just never knew what it was called. I used to see them all the time, and I mean, I still see them, but I never knew what the name of them those were. But yeah, like they went all out to try to figure out what was going on with this. So anyway, like I said, this is the next day. Moses' mama is gone, as we already know, and is talking to Martha. Meanwhile, back at the house, he is at this woman's house. The man is still at the woman's house. And so the son that came in there, and he looking at him like, okay, so what's going on here? Like, you basically trying to act like you my daddy or something? Like, what am I supposed to call you, my dad now? Like, what is going on here? And he was like, no, it is what it is. And I mean, he like his mama. So he was like, your mama won't tell me nothing. I noticed that you put at least $300 or $3,000 or how much he said that he put in the thing at the little kickback, the little situation, fundraiser, whatever you want to call it, that the people was at, where he dropped that money in that bucket. And so he was like, in exchange for my silence, I'm gonna need for you to tell me what your mama ain't telling me about what's going on with your brother's case, because believe it or not, I'm actually here to help, and I know I can help your mama, but she won't accept it from me. But I'm just gonna help, but it is what it is. You need to do that. So I'll be quiet about this side hustle you got going on, because I already know what it's hitting for. Don't try it. He had this mark on his arm where he got shot or he got caught up on something, and he was like, what was that from? And he basically was saying stupid decisions was the reason why he has that mark on him. So anyway, I guess he's agreeing to do that. Well, they done went back to the house with all this crime scene stuff, and they're trying to gather stuff, and they have actually narrowed down the bullets, because y'all know Chicago is known for a whole lot of killing, a whole lot of shoot 'em up, doing the most going on, like in real life. So the fact that on that day there were 4 bullets that were in that area, wherever it is, right? And they were able to track it down, and they were able to say 2 of these bullets can be eliminated from this equation. It's one of these 2 bullets. So essentially they do narrow it down. His son came in while they were in the middle of talking. And he was like, okay, Dad, it's time to go, because he promised him that he was going to go on a boat ride. And it's a part of something dealing with a project at his school and all this other stuff. So yeah, he actually is supposed to go. He was like, all right, well, give me a minute while I finish up here. And his son it's literally a minute for him. So he's doing the countdown. He was like, 40 seconds left, Dad, and all this. And he was like, okay. Like, it becomes to a point where he cannot even concentrate because his son is doing the most. Well, his son gets really, he was like, okay, since his daddy turned back around, was like, just give me a couple of more minutes. So the son put his headphones back on, listening to his music, and he starts dancing around and walking around everybody, walks into one of those contraptions, that's what I'm gonna call it, walks into one of the pieces of equipment, and there's no damage done, but his daddy done turned around and yelled at him and told him, didn't I tell you, like cussed him out and everything, cussed at him. And didn't I tell you to sit down somewhere? And so the son then went off. He was like, no. And he run out the door and he slammed the door. I was waiting on everything in the room to fall off. And it's like a garage. So I'm thinking everything in the garage, on the garage wall, gonna fall off. So the wife then rolled up. He didn't even know. And the wife saw it all go down. She was tired of her spirit and looked at him and was like, yep, I'm tired. Like, that was the look on her face. You done made the son mad. Your wife been mad at you. Every time she halfway calmed down, you make her mad again. It's like, at this point, you might well just go and get a divorce and move out and live your last couple of months alone, because it's rough out here. So anyway, well, at this point, he just like, look, I got to do what I got to do, because he keeps putting that case above his family. Well, he done went with the folks to go to where the bullet is. And it's in some neighborhood, whatever street they tracked it down on. They're looking for it, and they had this woman who actually called and said that she heard gunfire. Well, the reason why she called, first of all, was because her vehicle had been shot with the actual bullet. And before they got to all of that, they were trying to figure out why it took her so long to even call in the fact that there had been a shooting and that she heard it. She was like, I mean, some people have other things to do in their lives. Child, when they rolled up on her, he was like, "Oh, so she's a day drunk, huh?" Because she was out here listening to who is it? Junior Parker in the All Stars. Shotgun, shoot it for me right now. Yeah, playing all of that. Like she was getting. I was like, "Ma'am, you done went woof. You done went woof." So rolled up on her asking for information, and at first they wasn't gonna get nowhere, and she was like, "No, I mean the thing is, you know what I'm saying, they shot my baby." So he was like, "Baby," and the way she was acting kind of calm but not really about it, he was confused, like, "What you talking about, your baby?" Went over to the other side of the vehicle. I think it's like, y'all ain't, I don't even want to lie to y'all, I don't remember if it's a Volkswagen, like, I don't want to say Scooby-Doo mobile type situation. If y'all saw it, it's like one of those Peace Mobile type situations, I guess you could say. Kind of like that. That's the best way I could describe it. Like if you haven't seen the show and you just watching me talk about it. It was one of those. It actually looks like it's in awesome condition. So I understand why she lived for it. So anyway, they go over to it and we see the roof of it. Somebody shot straight through it. So he was like, "What? Oh, so then a bullet hole." And so she was like, "I got the bullet." This woman has encased the bullet and put it on a necklace and wears it around her neck. And in her mind, she feels as though this has brought her good luck. She done won bingo several times since she wore and all this. Now, keep in mind, David, the son, is with them. So he done rolled up and he was like, "Bullets aren't good luck. Bullets are meant to kill people. Bullets can even hurt people, but they're not good luck." So after he done said all of this, he was like, "Hi, my name is David. What's your name?" And so, like I told y'all, I feel like he has Asperger's / autism. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, she actually took to him quite well because they were like, "Oh my gosh, I could kiss you right now. Can you let me borrow the bullet?" And that woman went off. She was like, "No, that's my good luck charm." So that's why the son came in and said what he said. And after he introduced himself, she shook his hand, introduced herself. And in some kind of way, they are going to be allowed to use the bullet, I'm guessing. I don't know. And my thing is this. When everything first happened, even before David stepped into the scene, I was like, tell that heifer, come to court. Come to court. And they can just come and look at it around your neck or something. I'm trying to get this heifer in the building with the evidence if I can. Any kind of way I can get this heifer in this building, let's do it. Because if the evidence is around her neck, anything, they can subpoena her. They can subpoena her in some kind of way and get the evidence if they felt like it. I'm just like, somebody do something. So anyway, we then end up seeing Speak, who is Moses' daddy, talking to him, and he's telling him again, like, you're gonna have to do what you're supposed to do. He is in here peeing, and so Moses like, man, ain't nobody got time for this. He is disgusted because, you know, you gotta be in his cell with him while he peeing. You gotta do what you gotta do, deal with it. And so he then proceeds to, like, you hear this noise. So they done developed a system where they, I guess, are moving drugs in the toilets, or it's their communication to say it's about time for all of this. And then, of course, he over here talking about for the nation. And I'm just like, child. Anyway, he tried to get him to talk back to whoever the other person was on the other end of the toilet, because he was literally talking into the toilet he just peed into. I was like, child, ain't nobody got time for this. He was like, yeah, I can't. So, you know, it was what it was. But he told him, you're going to have to do what you got to do. Well, he just sat up here. And before we even get to what he ended up doing, we go back to seeing his brother. His brother at a trap house, I guess. And people are all around him getting money from all the corner boys, all gathering up the money and counting it. And so the main guy who we've seen before, who is trash, he ends up, you know, asking, is the count all right? It was the count right. And so the guy who was counting the money up, he was like, yeah, the count is always right. So he takes this big old suitcase, like it's a hard type of a case or whatever, to another room. So then the guy who had counted the money up told the brother that he was thirsty and he needed to go handle that for him. So he goes to the refrigerator to retrieve a beer. So on his way back to give the bill to the other guy, the guy who just took the money in another room, he just so happened to look over there in the room and see this man take at least a stack of the money out the thing that he just did And I'm like, you're shorting the money. Like, you over here taking a piece of the pie. Like, don't nobody have time to get cut up, stabbed up, shot up, and all this because you over here stealing. So then he get back in the room, and I'm saying to myself, is he going to say something? Like, what is he going to do? Because at this point, all of y'all are on the wrong side of the, I don't even really want to say on the wrong side of the law, but that's the truth. But it's like y'all all in gang activities / drug activities. So essentially, y'all already know the policy on the streets is no snitching and all of this. So it's like, I feel like he was struggling, wondering whether or not he should even say anything. So anyway, the guy who was counting the money machine ended up breaking. So he was like, dang, I got to count this money by hand. So he starts to count the money by hand that he's starting on the next pile of money. And some woman who got to be somebody who was literally only after this man for his money. And if you were to see the episode, you would see why. And I said what I said. I know people can't help how they look, but it is what it is. She sent him like a picture of herself, and he was like, oh yeah, she thirsty. Yeah, she real thirsty. But I'm like, you thirsty too, because you got your tongue out, you doing the most. You finna go in the whole nother room and go jack off to it. I don't know if he finna jack off to it. I don't know if he finna go send a risque picture to her or go have phone sex with her. I don't know, but he went out the whole room over the hole of his pants, the front of his pants, his package with one hand and the phone in the other, looking at the picture that she sent. I'm just saying. So anyway, the guy who is left, who is Moses' brother, he's left contemplating whether or not he should take the money that's sitting on the table or some of it because it's random rolls. So it's like, he over here stealing and I need money. Like, maybe I should steal too. Child, later on, we see Martha at the campaign office minding her business. Then Rufus's raggedy mama gonna roll up talking about, oh, I need to talk to her. You over here doing all this. Like, she was legit on the phone. I'm like, why are you so rude? You see her on the phone. Anyway, she'd have rolled up while she on the phone talking crazy. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to have to call you back. I'm talking about she couldn't even end the phone call without this heifer like really setting it off. I was like, ma'am, if you don't go somewhere. So she ended up taking her outside. And so she was like, oh, so you're embarrassed of me. She was like, it's not that I'm embarrassed of you. I just wanted to be able to talk to you one-on-one. So she was like, all right, cool, whatever. So she was like, I want to know why you said my son's name and all this. She was like, look, I can't explain to you why I used your son's name, but just understand that it is for a reason. So she gonna read her to myself, oh, so you a pimp now. She was like, what? She was like, oh, so you a pimp. That's what you're doing. She was like, you know what? Yeah, I am a pimp. So since I'm a pimp, how much do you want? So she was like, excuse me, what you talking about? So she was like, I mean, what you want? An arm, a leg? What you want? Your son's arm, your son's leg? What you want? Do you want me to go in here? Like, okay, I'll go into the campaign office right now. How much of a check do you want me to cut for you? Because apparently that's what it's about. So she was like, it's not about the money. And I'm like, girl. Anyway, so the police officer, Logan, that's his last name, and the other guy, not Brannigan, it's another guy who is his partner now, because y'all know the other partner was killed. They rolled up to this like food truck. And so they're getting breakfasts from a pizza place. And I was like, how y'all getting sausage biscuits from a pizza place? But who am I? So they go to pay. And then the woman was like, oh no, y'all are good. And she pointed over to the SUV that had the other people that aren't of the faction that whatever. I don't even know who these people are. It's the other folks, the ones who got introduced to that son. But anyway, he rolled up because they wanted to be able to have I guess better clout and all of that with the police. So anyway, the guy Logan, he ends up calling Brannigan and was talking to him. And so he was like, yeah, I need to meet with you. So he was like, all right, I'll meet you later on at this time, like 5:30 or whatever. Because the other guy, he is oblivious to what's going on, to my knowledge. He don't know all this going on. And so he gonna have to meet up with him to talk to him. Y'all, back on the yard, it's about to go down. So old boy, I think it's the guy who was set on fire. He done rolled up on Moses and told him, look, this is the way it's gonna go down. Just imagine that from here all the way down to that wall is where you need to understand that the package is going to be. It's going to be somewhere in between there. You ain't going to have to worry about the guards that are on the grounds. The only ones you're going to have to worry about is the tower, because they can see us, but we can't see them. So to make a long story short, they ended up creating a distraction where one guy who was supposed to be the spotter, and he sat up there and he like kind of pushed the deadlift weight on the dude and made it seem like he was trying to kill the dude, created this diversion. And so he over here trying to figure out what's going on because everybody know he run, all this other stuff. So he had already he was kind of acting like he was sprinting and exercising or whatever. So then this like Amazon van looking type situation come down the road. So he realizes, oh, that's where I need to, keep up with. So he starts running, and then it starts kind of surpassing him. So he really, really started running. You already know when all this stuff go down, it's time for everybody to hit the floor and do what you need to do until all of the guards have checked y'all and get y'all and say, okay, all clear or whatever. So the person who was in the van threw this black ball looking situation over the fence to him, and he had to act like he tripped and fell, and he reached out, got the ball, and put it into his underwear because they told him that's the only way you're going to be able to get it. You have to figure out what you need to do so they don't get you. So that's what he did, and he was able to actually make it. Well, he ended up talking to his brother, called him collect, and wanted to talk to him, see how he was doing. And he told his brother not to worry about him. He said he was doing all right, so don't worry about me. And then he was like, well, how's she doing? Of course, referring to their mama. He was like, she's taking up extra, extra work or whatever, extra shifts, what I'm saying? We holding it down for you, whatever. So they talking, everything seems fine. Well, Franklin has taken his son on the boat ride, and the son is enjoying himself, and all of a sudden, while he's talking to his son, he started hugging his son. And the son is like, you sure do love hugs a lot today. He was like, yeah, I do like hugs today. And like, he really when the scene was about to end and everything, he's holding him that long on this particular hug because he knows he's dying, but he ain't said nothing to his son. It's like, sir, come on now. You need to hurry up and tell your son something. This don't make no sense. So anyway, we end up seeing the partner roll up on the wife later on. But before he rolled up on the wife, he rolled up on Brannigan, and they talking. And he was like, look, I already knew that Rufus was trash. He was about to turn on us. He was a snitch. He was all of this. Like, he knew too much. He was going to turn. He was going to do the most anyway. He knew too much, so he had to go. So it is what it is. Because the guy's name is Dante, the other guy. I think he got locks. The one who is still alive. So he's trying to give him information, and Brannigan already know about it. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And at this point, he looking at him like, bro, I don't care. Whoever got the money, whoever paying the most, I don't care. So he's talking to him and questioning him to the point where Brannigan feels like, oh, what is going on here? And they snatched him up, then ripped his shirt open thinking he got a wire. And so after he stopped acting crazy, he was like, okay, what was that for? And I'm like, you already know why. Because he know he a dirty cop, and that's why he doing all this. So anyway, we end up seeing Franklin meeting up with Moses, and he was giving him one of his old suits. And so he talking about, oh, okay, this is a nice suit. What happened to it? He was like, yeah, this used to be a good suit or whatever. He was like, I can't even wear it no more. He done lost 10 pounds because, of what he got going on. I'm pretty sure that's why. But yeah, he talking about something. That's why. But of course, he wants to have something nice to wear to court, so he's providing that for him. So he was like, look, pretty much you don't need to worry about the trial. Don't worry about it. I want you to be yourself, because he's trying to get him to advise him on how he should act. And he was like, I want you to present yourself as yourself. Be yourself. I feel like what the court needs to see and the world needs to see is you. And so I'm like, child, this is a lot. So he had a moment where he was talking to his daddy because his daddy wanted to know who he was. And he basically explained that he was a great person who was into track. Like, track is life for him. And I'm just like, I don't even know why you asked him. Like, he is not like you and don't want to be like you. I forgot to mention that the brother, when he was on the phone with him, told him that he might as well go ahead and get with the program. And why you calling our daddy speak? He's our daddy. He's our father. And I'm like, child, your daddy trash. He in there. He on the inside. He don't do nothing for y'all. Like, what is we talking about? So anyway, Logan finally rolled up on the widow and was talking to her. And eventually it started making out a little bit. And I'm like, who didn't see this coming? I'm so sick and tired of everybody. Like, and I understand that tensions are high, but they've just been having that that type of sexual energy for a while. I don't know if something eventually is gonna go down or if anything has ever gone down, but it is what it is. So anyway, we're coming down to the end of it, y'all. Sorry it was so long. There's just so much be going on, and I couldn't help the musical selection. My bad. So Franklin rolled up to Moses and them mama's house, and he ended up picking up $4,000 from them. And so they basically like, we don't care. Do what you got to do, because we understand you have to pay for his legal defense fees. It is what it is. So he was like, you do know that if I didn't need to do it, I wouldn't take this money. So he ended up walking out the door doing what he had to do. So he done finally made it home. And so he trying to figure out why his wife's sitting in the dark like that and all that. She just sitting there talking about some what if I win. She done made up posters and stuff with her on there. And she feels some type of way because she was like, I was promised that it was my turn now. You broke that promise. You lied to me. 17 years. I did everything you wanted me to do. I sat to the side. I put my dreams on hold. And now I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do because you had a person, which was me. I don't have a me. I don't have a me. Man, she ended up reading him because in turn, outside of the fact that you still ain't told your son you dying, you ain't even taking your medication. So his argument to that was, well, I'm not taking my medication because I need to be sharp and it causes insomnia and nausea, all these crazy symptoms that he really would not be able to perform worth nothing if he's not taking it. Because it's like at this point, are you trying to live or are you trying to die? Because you're dying faster because you're not taking the medicine. I don't know if I believe in all of that and medicine stuff or whatever because of the natural medicines that are out there. I'm just saying there were things before what's out there now. Y'all know how I am sometimes. Y'all ignore me. But anyway, she ended up leaving the pill. I forgot what y'all call it, y'all. Where you actually have the little Monday through Sunday or whatever on there, or Sunday through Sunday on there, Sunday through Saturday. Child, she left it open that had all of his assorted pills in the one for that particular day, wondering if he was going to be a man of integrity and actually take it. That man politely went over it after she left, closed the top. I said, no, sir. I'm telling y'all, if she get divorced from him, it ain't gonna surprise me. But she probably won't, because she lived for him. Like, she really read him, went off on him, and still walked up to him and hugged him while reading him some more. That's just the type of person she is. And it's like, I love you, but you doing the most for everybody else but your family. Don't you care about your family? Y'all, it's a lot. But anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Please give this video a thumbs up. Let's talk about it down in the comment section. I am so sorry that this was so long. Y'all, please forgive me. Bye.